Looking for these better days.
It is Thursday, May 7th. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. The Knicks take a 2-0 series lead over the Philadelphia 76ers. The San Antonio Spurs deliver for us in the first quarter as they blow out the Timberwolves, evening up that series at a game apiece, and exciting action on the ice and in Major League Baseball as well. Joe Serralo joins me on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. And Joe, we start in the association where the New York Knicks jump out to a 2-0 series lead over the Philadelphia 76ers, 108-102. So the Knicks get the win. They do not get the cover, whether it was the original line or the line that changed after Joel Embiid was announced that he was out, and the Knicks wound up closing as 10.5-point favorites. Earlier in the day, they were 7.5-point favorites. It didn't matter. They didn't cover. And somehow the game goes under the posted total of 215.5. It went down to 214.5 with Embiid being announced out. 210 points, despite at one point in the first half, the live total was 240. Now, am I bitter because I lost the over last night? Yes, I'm a little bitter. There was only 31 points scored in the fourth quarter. But hey, the Knicks picked up the win, and now they have a 2-0 series lead, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe how tight everything got in that fourth quarter. 19-12. The Knicks go into the fourth trailing by one. I mean, great margin for them, +7 in that quarter. It was their best quarter of basketball. The only quarter, by the way, that was decided by more than 2 points. Like, this was a really tight game throughout. And I just can't believe, I went live on TikTok at halftime. And my final score prediction was Knicks 128, Philly 119. That was the final score prediction I gave out. And it looked like after 3 quarters, I was on the money. I mean, what was the score after 3 quarters? It was like 80, high 80s each team. I was like, all right, 128. Like, we're still there. Fourth quarter, I mean, I can't call it a dud. The Knicks did what I wanted them to do, but there was not much offense. As far as the series as a whole, man, I feel great. I live bet them in the third quarter -5.5. So I got there on the hook. Only thing I had pre-flop was Cat over 19.5 points at plus money. I couldn't believe it, even after the Embiid injury. And so I capitalized on that. So 2-0 game for me. Thankfully, I stayed away from the Timberwolves Spurs game. I would have leaned towards Minnesota plus 10.5 there. So thankfully, I stayed away and avoided the loss there. But fun game for the Knicks. You split in Philadelphia, and then you're in a tremendous position to put them down in 5.
Yeah.
If the Knicks go up 3-1, they're not going to do what Boston did and choke it away. So I feel great about this series.
And you mentioned Karl-Anthony Towns, who did finish with the 20 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, as Point Towns is in full effect in these playoffs. I did a guest appearance on the Betting with Behrman pod with our good friend David Behrman, also available on the Believe Podcast Network. And we had talked about Karl-Anthony Towns over his assist prop, and it was taxed at 4.5. Like, it was 3.5 for the majority of these playoffs. It gets bumped up to 4.5 because, well, he's been going over every game, and it was plus money towards the over, and it cashed. He had 5 assists in 14 minutes of basketball. He had 6 assists in 6 minutes in game number 6. He had 6 assists in the first 13 minutes in game number 1 of this series. Point Towns is in full effect here for the New York Knicks. One bad beat in the prop market, though, Joe. If you had Jalen Brunson over 26.5 points, and the Sixers do not foul him at the end of the game, electing to punt down 6 with under 20-something seconds left, I was baffled by that. As somebody obviously was rooting for the over, I'm like, wait, they're just not going to foul Jalen Brunson? And they don't foul Brunson, so he doesn't get the opportunity to go to the free throw line and add a couple of more points. So he finishes with 26 points on 9 of 21 shooting.
Well, the thing to me, Scott, was that it looked like they tried. I thought with like 15
the ref
seconds.
let it go.
Yeah. And Stripes just let it go. And so then when you got to 7-8 seconds left, they were like, well, frig this. We're not going to even bother at this point. But it looked like they tried to foul Brunson. And so, if you were a Brunson backer in that case, you've got extra reason to be pissed off. Also, Jalen did miss a couple of layups, right? Like, he got his 26 points, but it wasn't the best shooting night. 9 of 21 from the floor, just 1 of 5 from 3. Can't crucify him. I was going to say he missed a free throw, but he was 7 of 8 from the line. So that's fine. But yeah, missed a couple of layups. There were many instances where Brunson could have gone over 26 and a half without needing those free throws late.
Yeah, and we talk all the time as we take a look ahead to the game 3 number here, Joe, courtesy of the FanDuel Sportsbook. We talk all the time about the zigzag in the NBA playoffs and the zag, which is is in full effect here for this game number 3. Up on FanDuel right now, the Knicks are 1-point favorites at Philadelphia coming up tomorrow's game number 3. But this is where the zag comes into play. For years, this has been an extremely profitable betting system. When a team loses games 1 and 2 of a playoff series on the road, they return home from game 3, they dominate the first half. Here's the numbers since the 2021 season. Full game, 26 and 21 straight up, 28, 18 and 1 against the spread. So still good, 61% ATS. The first half, though, 23 and 21 against the spread. But from 2021 to 2023, 14 and 8 against the spread in the first half. Since 2023, 6 and 8, a losing record against the spread in the first half. Why? Because the books have caught on. Because with widespread legalization and more content out there talking sports betting, there's no secrets anymore. The books know that the first half is where it is in these zag situations. And so now you're paying a tax. Perfect example. Tomorrow, here on the FanDuel Sportsbook, the Sixers are +1 for the full game. But, Joe, they are -1.5 for the first half.
Okay, so not a huge disparity there. Still just a point, essentially, to a side of a pick'em. Ah, man. I mean, if you like Philly, I think at that point you just have to play the money line if you were to take them first half. But,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, this is a tough one for me because so much of the line movement hinges on Embiid's status and availability.
Of course.
Even though they looked a lot better without him. Like we have to honor the fact that Philly just looked way better without Embiid than they did game 1 with him. Ball was moving a lot more. Maxey was able to just kind of, especially in the first half, take over, do his thing. Also, that first half, they got a lot more calls on the Knicks, and there was a huge disparity in 3-point percentage as well as free throws in the first half. So it was kind of the perfect storm. Like everything went right for Philly, and they were only up 1 at halftime. I mean, the Knicks are just clearly far and away the better team here. I'd be inclined to go Knicks first half money line. I mean, they're strong finishers, but I'd be inclined to go Knicks money line first half. I mean, you're probably getting what, +105? I don't have it in front of me. Like it can't
very short.
Can't be a
very
great
short.
price.
Yep.
But
like I said, they're +1.5 for the first half. So let's see, up on FanDuel right now, the first half money line is going to be +108.
Yeah, I would dabble with that. I think the Knicks win the game. I like New York minus the 1.5 on the game.
You can't argue the Knicks have been the best team here in these NBA playoffs. I mean, not named the Oklahoma City Thunder, but
they're hot right now. I mean, they're 2 losses, both by a point. Game 3, they probably deserve to lose. Game 2, they should not have lost. Like, I mean, they look so good.
Yeah, the net rating is tremendous. It's the number 1 net rating in the entire NBA playoffs. Well, we'll see. It might change after last night's San Antonio Spurs victory as the Spurs dominate the Timberwolves 133-95. We cash with our best bet on the first quarter ATS system, which is it's been an incredible cash cow this entire playoffs. That's the zigzag in the first quarter. If all you did in these playoffs was bet the previous ATS loser to cover the first quarter spread in the following game, you are now 26, 15, and 1 against the spread after last night's perfect 2-0 sweep. When those teams are favored, like the San Antonio Spurs were last night, 15 and 7 against the spread. And we dove into the numbers on yesterday's pod even further, where when the home team loses game number 1 of a playoff series, how strong they are bouncing back in the first quarter of game number 2. So everything lined for the Spurs to have a strong first quarter. Both teams couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. It was one of the ugliest first quarters you'll ever watch, with brick after brick after brick. But the Spurs took a 24-17 lead into the first break. So we cashed with that. And then the rest of the game, The Spurs found a way to hit some shots. The Timberwolves never did. 133-95 was the total. Timberwolves finished 9 of 30 from three-point range. Spurs 16 of 39. For Victor Wembanyama, he did not have the 12 blocks like he did in game number 1. He only had 2 blocks, but he did finish with 19 points and 15 boards last night, Joe.
Man, who'd have thought the biggest takeaway from this game in the year 2026, Mason Plumlee getting minutes in a playoff game? Who would have thought? I didn't even know. I will completely admit I did not know he was still in the NBA. Apparently, he's played 20 games this regular season, but Mason Plumlee logging 3 minutes and getting an assist. That's the big takeaway for me in this one. I mean, look, this San Antonio team, that was peak Spurs, what we just saw, right?
Yeah.
This is a team that we saw it in the regular season, and regular season does not always carry over. We've seen across all sports, regular season success means nothing when we get to the playoffs. But San Antonio can go out there and compete with Oklahoma City. I mean, they're as good as any team in the NBA. And that was peak Spurs performance. Everything seemed to be clicking. I mean, Wemby didn't even really have his stroke going from 3, but it felt like everyone else did in that starting lineup. It was just, I mean, this is a team that would be a lot of fun, I think, to see in the finals. They had 7 guys in double figures. What's really impressive, scoring $133, not having anyone score more than 21 points. Really balanced effort. I mean, but that's how this team is. They're one of the most deep teams in the NBA, which is a great recipe to compete with Oklahoma City. And they're just so well balanced and really selfless, especially for how young they are. They are a really selfless team. So they're fun. Look, I love both of these teams. I'd love the Spurs and Wolves winner to go to the NBA Finals. Like, I think it would be incredible if either of them could knock off Oklahoma City. We'll see how feasible that is, but I really like the product that we've got right now in the Western Conference. It excites me way more than the teams remaining in the East, not named my New York Knicks.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be the Spurs. Right now, San Antonio, 3.5-point favorites in Minnesota tomorrow in game number 3. And so, I mean, a road favorite like this, you know, at this point in the playoffs is rare. It's for a reason. And I think San Antonio is going to roll through the remainder of this series, kind of like they did with Portland. They had a hiccup, and then that was it. You know, game number 1 was a hiccup. I mean, I guess you can say that maybe Anthony Edwards is going to get some more his legs underneath him, and he'll be better, especially when they return home. But Wemby's going to get better. I mean, the shooting's going to get better. I mean, the Spurs did not shoot well last night and still scored 133 points. Things got chippy at one point in that game. I just love what I'm seeing from this San Antonio Spurs team, and I can't wait to watch them against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Speaking of the Thunder, tonight it is game number 2 between the Thunder and the Lakers. It is the same spread that we saw in game number 1 with the Thunder 15.5-point favorites. Total has dipped down, though, to 209.5 as opposed to where we were in game number 1. And in game number 1, we were all over the Lakers team total to go under 98.5. But that was when the game total was 212.5. Now that the game total is down to 209.5, Lakers team total is now at 96.5. I kind of still want to go back to the well with the under on the Lakers team total. Joe, they're just playing at the slowest pace of any team right now in these NBA playoffs. And I don't know if they can keep up with the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I don't know if they can score on this team.
Right. So that pace actually makes me want to go Lakers plus the points here. Like 15.5, same number, 18-point loss game 1. Is a LeBron-led team. I mean, even though he's in year 41, I don't care. Like, he is still Superman out there. Is a LeBron-led team going to drop back-to-back games by 16 or more points? You know, even if they have to change their style, like you said, they've been playing a slower tempo. I mean, Oklahoma City is one of the youngest teams, I believe, still in the NBA, right? Like, last year, weren't the Thunder, their starting 5, wasn't their average age younger than the Auburn team that Bruce Pearl took to the Final Four a year ago? I believe that their starting 5 average age, Oklahoma City's, was either younger or like within a year of Auburn.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
young. Right now, they are the 3rd youngest team in the NBA, the Thunder.
Right. I mean, so there's a team looking to repeat. That's crazy. So they're a young run and gun team. The Lakers are quite the obvious. You've got names like, you know, LeBron James, Marcus Smart in the starting 5, right? they're not going to win the game, but I have to imagine they're going to keep it closer than they did in game one. And so I'm probably looking Lakers plus the points.
The only pause I have with doing that is SGA was just not good in game number one. Like, what if he turns it around and has a 35-point performance like we know Shea can do? He didn't get to the free throw line a lot. Now, was that because LeBron was telling the refs to not call the flops, from the foul merchant, as he's referred to at times?
Neither team did.
So, you know what? Maybe this game goes over, Joe. Maybe we're looking at, maybe it's not a Lakers team total under. Maybe it's just a game to go over. SGA will be better. There will be more free throws, right? And maybe this is too significant of an adjustment from game number one, going down from 212.5 to 209.5.
Yeah, I mean, I think if the Thunder cover, it's definitely going over. Like, I can't see the Lakers with back-to-back duds. I know that this Lakers team, what they did against Houston, that they were big underdogs in the series as a whole going into it and everything. I'm not expecting the moon from the Lakers, but I can't see back-to-back absolute duds. So I like them plus the points, but if that's not a bet you're comfortable with and you think Oklahoma City could cover, then I see where you're coming from, and I would say maybe look to the over instead of laying 15.
In the Eastern Conference, no change in the spread from game number one. It is game number two. Pistons, 3.5-point home favorites against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Total has ticked down, though. Game one was 217.5. Game two, 215.5. I had the over in game number one, and that did not come through. I had the Cavs also in game number one, and that did not come through. And it's because of the turnovers. They turned the basketball over 20 times. James Harden, 7 of them by himself, but 20 turnovers in game number one. The Pistons scored 31 points off of those turnovers. I got to imagine that they limit the turnovers tonight. That has to be a focal point of them in this game. And if they do limit the turnovers, the Cavs might actually come away with a win here.
Man, I love Donovan Mitchell. When is he going to step it up? I feel like since the first 2 games of that Raptors series, where, the Cavs that found themselves up 2-0 in that series, like, Mitchell's been pretty MIA. He hasn't cracked 25 points in 6 straight games now. I mean, I love Donovan Mitchell. Like, there will be no Donovan Mitchell slander out of my mouth, but when does he step it up? He hasn't for 6 straight games. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it happens in this game too right here and take the Cavs plus the points. Doesn't mean I think they win, although, correct me if I'm wrong, Scott. Haven't the teams that have won been covering at an astronomical rate thus far in the NBA playoffs?
Well, every team there's only been 5 dogs in this entire playoffs that have lost the game but covered the spread. Right. Other than that, every team that wins covers, and the cover margin has been significant. Yes.
Yeah. So, it's been insane. So if I'm taking the Cavs plus the points, some people might say just take a money line at this point. Yeah. But Detroit's 2 regular season wins, they split the series. These 2 teams did, excuse me. Detroit's wins by 3 and 4 points respectively. This number 3.5. And I think Cleveland, one of their wins came by less than the 3.5 spread in this game as well. One was a blowout. So I think Mitchell is finally going to have a big game, and I'm going to look to take Cleveland plus the 3.5. Also, Detroit, what are we looking at? 4 straight wins now? Like, I do feel like they got to come back down to earth here a little bit. And so
Cleveland hasn't won a road game yet in these playoffs.
Yeah, that's not great. But I'm going to side. Detroit is a more familiar place for them, I will say, environment-wise. They play there every single year, multiple times. I'm going to go with the Cavs. I'm looking at game one, and it's like Mobley wasn't fantastic. Mitchell has not been fantastic. Harden couldn't hit a 3.
Allen was pathetic. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I never looked to Allen as a guy I want to rely on offensively. But I'm like, the only guy who I look at and I'm like, oh, he had a really good game is Max Strus. Outside of that, it's like I'm looking at Mitchell to step up, and then if Harden or Mobley, just like one of them plays better, Cleveland should be right in this thing, man. So I'm gonna go Cavs.
Just don't turn the ball over. That's it. Don't turn the basketball over. You'll be competitive in this game. From the NBA playoffs to the Stanley Cup playoffs, we go, where the Sabres beat the Canadiens 4-2 in game number 1 of their series. The game goes over the 5.5. That was a play that we had up on betterday.com. Incredible trends with teams coming off of game sevens and then giving up a ton of goals. Probably should have done both the Sabres team total and the game to go over, but just played the game to go over. The team total that we did play last night was the Anaheim Ducks over 2.5, and they beat the Golden Knights 3-1 to even up that series at a game apiece. Very interesting. Now you take a look at the
Empty netter for
series
the win.
price. What was that?
I said you got an empty netter for the win. That's always fun.
Well, the empty netter made it 3-0, and then Vegas scored
Right.
with like a minute, not even a minute.
Well,
left
you said
to
it was a
make
team
3-1.
total over 2.5, or did I mishear
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Empty netter for the win.
Yep. You could have gotten multiple empty netters though. It was always that option here. Taking a look at the postseason series numbers here. As we have to wait here for an updated series price, but I can tell you right now for the game number 3 in Anaheim tomorrow, it is really tight. Vegas minus 114 favorites up on FanDuel. Meanwhile, for game 2 tomorrow night in Buffalo, the Sabres minus 134. No adjustment on the total. 5.5 still, minus 124 to the over. Just one game scheduled here for tonight on the ice. It is Carolina at Philadelphia. Where is this the zigzag in the NHL? Carolina wins the first 2 games at home, and now they will look to take a commanding 3-0 lead. Carolina a minus 162 favorite on the road. Total here at 5.5, significantly juiced to the under at minus 148. Now, both games in this series have gone under. Carolina with the 3-0 win in game number 1, a 3-2 come from behind overtime win in game number 2. So 2 straight unders. Do we zag off of that, Joe? Do we think this one goes over? Do we like Philly to make it a series, or has Carolina just been too much?
If it goes over, it's like 4-2 Hurricanes. I mean, I really don't trust this Flyers team to turn in more than 2 goals. The offense has been abysmal. Go back to game 7 against the Penguins, and what did they have? Like 4 shots on net in the final 30 minutes of that game. One of them just happened to go in and be the winner towards the end of that first overtime period. Like, I don't trust this Flyers team at all. I have 2 exactas in. I got the Hurricanes in 5 plus 230, and the Hurricanes to sweep 3-1. I got both of those numbers after game 1. I was live on the air doing cashing out Saturday night, and game 1 wrapped, and those were the numbers available, even with the Canes holding a 1-0 lead in the series. And so I played them both at plus 230 and 3-1 respectively.
Okay, so I like that. This is what I looked at here going back to 2007. Game number 3 of a playoff series when the first 2 games have gone under. Game 3 goes over 60% of the time, 31, 21, and 9 to the over of an average line of 5.5. If you are coming off of 2 straight wins at home in games 1 and 2, and now you're on the road, obviously, for game number 3, same time frame, or going all the way back to 2007, 41 and 50 straight up, but 51 and 40 on the puck line, which would, indicate that these teams are, dogs a lot of the times here. Let's isolate this since the start of the 2021 season, 11 and 12 straight up, 13 and 10 on the puck line. When you are the road favorite, 5 and 3 straight up, 4 and 4 on the puck line. So not great trends, not strong numbers either way. It is interesting, though, that overs have actually occurred. So you're right. If it isn't over, maybe it is Carolina scoring 4 goals. Maybe it's a Carolina team total.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the team total, because Carolina is the favorite in this game, you're going to have to do, it's going to be like a 3.5, 2.5 type split.
Right. That's
right.
What I'm thinking.
Now, if you can find, because sometimes both books will have both teams at 2.5, but one of them is significantly juiced as opposed to the other one, right? So for this one here tonight, it is Carolina. Yeah, that's what it exactly is. Carolina and Philadelphia are both at 2.5, but the over for Philly is even money. The over for Carolina is minus 170.
And what's Philly to the under?
Under 2.5 for Philly is minus 140.
I didn't want to go past minus 120. Wow, that's 40 cents differential there between the over and the under for Philly.
Welcome to sports books, Joe.
Yeah, my goodness. Canes minus 1.5 might be the only way I could conceive going. What is that, plus 160 on the puck line?
It's minus 1.5 is you can actually get plus 152.
Okay, yeah, I saw 160 out there, but yeah. I think that's the only way I look to play it is Canes puck line.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I got my exactas in pocket, so I'm not playing this game individually.
I was gonna say you can have some fun with alternates, like Canes over 3.5 goals. You can get like plus 150. If you think that could be a good angle if they score 4 in this game,
and then they would naturally win 3-1, and you want to pull your teeth out.
Of course, split your units. That's what we always like to say. Let's talk Major League Baseball, Joe. I know you love betting the diamond, and it is a Thursday, which means we have plenty of day games, and it also means we have our sweep systems, which, by the way, went 2-0 yesterday, playing the unders on games where a team is going for a 3-game sweep. This season, the under in these games, Joe, is now 45, 28, and 2.
Wow.
As we continue to cash on these unders, we have a couple of games that qualify for today's Major League Baseball slate. The Miami Marlins will look to avoid the sweep at the hands of the Baltimore Orioles. So that could be one under that we could be looking at. The Cincinnati Reds, who just continue to get walked off by the Chicago Cubs, will look to avoid the sweep there in Chicago. With Wrigley, always pay attention to the wind before you're betting on any total, of course, at Wrigley Field. The Sacramento/Vegas A's looking to avoid the sweep in Philadelphia, and the Colorado Rockies looking to avoid the sweep against your New York Mets. So possibly taking the unders on. I'd be selective. I wouldn't blindly take the unders on all 4 games, despite the fact that the trends have been, very, very strong on these unders. Be selective. Look at the weather and see if there's any unders that you like. Of those games, Joe, any pitchers that you like to back here that you might be interested in an under in either of these 4 games?
I mean, not a lot of pitchers I'm loving on the bump here, I mean, like JT Ginn and Painter both have pretty high ERAs in that A's-Phils game. Maybe Marlins Orioles for an under. I mean, that ballpark, obviously, it's a huge park. Max Meyer has looked really good for the Marlins. They're favorites in that one, trying to fend off the sweep there. Cade Povich has not looked great. That would probably be, even though it's 8.5, it's a bit of a low-ish total. That would probably be where I'm looking. If I'm looking for a little better value on the board, I mean, Twins did you say, are the Twins trying to not get swept? Are they one of the teams?
No. They split the first 2 games with the Nets.
Because they just lost 15-2 last night. So, I mean, Simeon Woods Richardson is on the bump. He's 0-5 with an ERA of 6.5.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a good spot for him to get his first win. Jake Irvin 1-4 with an ERA of 5. So, I mean, that totals at flat 9. Maybe you go over in DC in that Twins Nationals game. I see some value at the Rangers. Mackenzie Gore. Man, what's up with Mackenzie Gore? All-star last year, incredible first half, big strikeout guy, just walking too many guys and allowing. I mean, his ERA second half was abysmal. This year it's 4.7, and he was like nails his first 2 starts, so he's really taken a step back. But Blackburn for the Yankees, I mean, in that ballpark, he's a fly ball pitcher already. Like that ballpark, at least Gore is coming in with some plus stuff from the left side. Texas, I'm seeing like plus 125, maybe even a little bit better out there. I'd look to maybe the Rangers as dogs at Yankee Stadium.
It's not a bad thought. I don't hate that at all. Backing Mackenzie Gore here. Rangers just got a win against the Yankees. What was it, 6-1 yesterday?
Eovaldi,
right? Yeah. He's great. He is great.
And he's
yeah,
great
and then
against
you
the
look
Yankees too.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I don't hate it. I don't necessarily hate going with the Texas Rangers, to be honest with you. You can get plus 110 right now up on FanDuel. Total is 8. I might look towards the under here in the Bronx, depending on the weather.
I was going to say the over because of Blackburn.
No, because I think
Gore has struggled lately.
Yeah, but I think if you're betting on a Mackenzie Gore bounce back, then that means you think he's going to limit the Yankees bats. Maybe you go Yankees team total to go under. Or maybe just, you know what you could do also, Joe, if you really want to back Mackenzie Gore here, go with the Rangers in the first 5 innings, lay the juice and take the half a run in the first 5 innings because you start the game already, it's a 0-0 score, you got the win already, right?
Yeah,
So it's minus 160 for Rangers plus a half a run in the first 5 innings.
it's a lot of
Just get to a
juice.
tie game after 5 and you got yourself a win.
Current Rangers hitters against Blackburn, 12 for 30, so it's a 400 clip. 4 home runs out of the 12 hits. Seager's got a pair. Danny Jansen is 2 for 2 with a homer. Higashioka's got a home. So whoever's catching for the Rangers tomorrow is going to go deep. That's what I'm hearing, whether it's Jansen or Higgy.
Okay. All right. As always, you
Oof.
As always, you guys can head to our MLB Game Center up on betterday.com. Take advantage of our park factors, our prop projections, all the resources that we have available for you, the game projections as well. It's all listed there and available. Very easy to digest on our MLB Game Center up on betterday.com, as well as our NBA Game Center here throughout the playoffs with prop projections, game projections. We had the Spurs projected by about 10 or 11 points last night. Well, we could have laid the alternate spread. We could have laid the 30 if we wanted to last night. And that one didn't come through. That could have came through as they won by, 38 points last night. These NBA playoffs, while some games have been great, the way too many blowouts. Way too many blowouts.
I mean, look, the fan in me, like when the Knicks are playing and there's a blowout, I'm doing a little
Yeah.
dance. Like I'm enjoying it. A lot of duds, though. A lot of duds.
A lot of duds. All right, Joe Soralo, tell people where they can find you across all your social media platforms.
Yeah, at Joe Soralo on Instagram, at the Joe Soralo on Twitter.
We'll have more from Joe coming up on this pod as we move along. As a reminder, Colby and Jake did stream a live episode of their Off the Board podcast. It is available on this Better Day podcast feed. If you did not listen and watch it yesterday, get some of their thoughts on Major League Baseball. They'll have another episode streaming tomorrow. Yesterday, I also did a simulcast episode. I was on David Behrman's podcast, Betting with Behrman, and we did put that episode also on this Better Day podcast feed, so you can go listen to David and I kind of shoot the shit and talk, kind of stuff outdated. But we did reference some games that are coming up here tonight in both the NBA and Stanley Cup playoffs. For Joe Soralo, I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.